World's End serial killer Angus Sinclair could be linked to the unsolved murders of 3 young women. A new publication has linked him to the unsolved murders of Anna Kenny, Hilda Macaulay and Agnes Cooney, who all fell victim in a 3-month period in 1977 after meeting their killer on nights out in Glasgow with friends. At the time, the police could not find the persons responsible and inquiries were eventually wound down. However, Midnight Stalkers by Daily Record publishers Reach, which investigates unsolved murders across the UK, says that Sinclair is now the likeliest suspect for the 3 killings. It reports how detectives' efforts were hampered at the time by a lack of information from the public and eyewitnesses. Sinclair, who died in 2019 in prison, was convicted in 2014 of the murders of 2 Edinburgh teenagers, Helen Scott and Christine Eadie, in what became known as the World's End murders, and received his 3rd life sentence. Midnight Stalkers tells how Anna Kenny, who was 20 years old, disappeared on August 5, 1977, after a night out at the Hurdy-Gurdy pub in Lister Street, Townhead in Glasgow. 20 months later, Anna's remains were finally found in a makeshift grave in a remote part of Argyllshire by 2 shepherds. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled. The second of the 3 victims, Hilda Macaulay, was battered, raped and strangled after leaving the Plaza Ballroom in Govanhill, Glasgow, and her body dumped in woods 20 miles away at Langbank, Renfrewshire. On December 2, 1977, Agnes Cooney, who worked in a children's home, went to the nearby Claddagh Social Club in Westermoreland Street, Govanhill, and left just before midnight. Her mutilated body, bearing 26 stab wounds, was found 2 days later by a farmer near Caldercrooks, Lanarkshire. None of the 3 investigations were officially linked at the time by police, but in 2004, Sinclair emerged for the first time as a suspect after a cold case review of unsolved murders of 7 women across Scotland. Midnight Stalkers reveals how police discovered evidence Sinclair may have gone on a killing spree between August and December 1977, murdering at least 5, including Anna, Hilda and Agnes. Retired detective Alan Jones said, "When we started to build the case against Sinclair, we looked at every murder of a woman in the UK from the early 1960s to around 2000, and there were around 900. Of those, only this handful bore Sinclair's hallmark. It was clear that all the cases were the work of the same man."